That'd be a sick ass fucking like gamer tag.
Yeah, dude, that's what my dad called me. I was like, you know what? I don't even remember why. I think it's because like it was like short for Clydesdale. Like you just like because I was just like always a big kid and like
big brute.
Clydesdale's a big horse, like a powerhouse, you know.
Dude, have you ever seen one of them things in person, bro?
Yes, sir.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck, they are big.
They're absolutely
like I already
massive,
thought
bro.
horses were already intimidating enough as it is, just a normal horse. Shit, even a pony sometimes can be a little intimidating, dude, because them motherfuckers kick you, dude. Your fucking legs broke. But dude, standing next to one of those, bro, is like, fuck. Humans are such puny animals in comparison to some other creatures that are out there. Oh, we should start this thing because I have some other things I want to talk about, and I feel like the Shedheads might want to know about it.
I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dive into a Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Shedtime podcast, your weekly dose of Shedtime therapy. And as we were just talking about in the beginning of this this episode, in the cold open, if you will, Clydesdales, man, are fucking crazy scary. I've actually met, if you will, the old Budweiser Clydesdales at, what was it, SeaWorld, I think? I think it was SeaWorld. Which is awkward that they have the Budweiser Clydesdales and not, you know, a zoo. But hey.
Hey, man, you know how hard it is to find a good trained horse?
I'm going to say it's probably pretty hard.
Especially a Clydesdale at that. You know what I mean? Which brings me to another enormous animal, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but apparently there's been an animal that has... quote unquote, or has been known to have been extinct, or at least thought to have been extinct for 200 years, right? And they just spotted one off the Atlantic coast, or in the Atlantic Ocean.
I know all about it, obviously.
A gray whale, dude.
The what?
A gray whale, dude.
Yeah. Right off the coast of Cape Cod.
It's just this huge, another large whale species, similar to the blue whale, but different because they don't have a dorsal fin.
Yep. They have a ridged hump where a dorsal fin would be.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. It performs effectively the same way to create that like vertical stability. But yeah, it's just like a ridged hump. And yeah, it happened off the coast of the Cape Cod out here in my area.
I think it was, and I wasn't sure if it was Boston. I think it was like somewhere in the New England area.
Yeah, it was. It's big news right now because obviously Massachusetts, as dark as this kind of is when you think about it, has a huge whaling history.
Oh yeah, dude.
And
back in the day,
like New Bedford, Massachusetts, is the whaling capital of the United States. That was where the central hub of American whaling was happening at its time. And I mean, even back when I was doing my courier job, I used to deliver to a college out that way that had a whole bunch of like actual artifacts from that era, like harpoons, old scrimshod, whale tusk and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
It's fucking gnarly, dude.
But super exciting to know that like there are whale species that are still alive.
Well, that just goes to show you how fucking large the ocean is and how much of it we still don't understand. Because, dude, for 200 years we thought this has been extinct, and obviously it's been around for 200 years. It's just the ocean is so vast. And, there's so many nooks and crannies and, just different spots that still have yet to be explored, that who knows what the fuck is out there, dude. Like, I don't doubt the fucking megalodon isn't still a thing.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It stands to reason. It literally stands to reason that, due to the fact that there are actual prehistoric animals, sea life, that still exists to this day. And if they could survive, why couldn't other species?
Yeah. It's like, look at the fucking gator, dude. He's still around.
Right.
Well, even think about it like this. Like, this is like my thought, right? Like, when you're talking about that, and then like even just what you guys were just speaking about, like, I think of like, if something hasn't been seen for 200 years, like, first of all, 200 years ago, like in fucking 1824, like, do I really think that there was like all these people that were incredibly knowledgeable as to like what fucking whales they're seeing? No, I don't. But we obviously don't know that much about them. So like, maybe they just have fucking cycles, bro. And like, you don't know where they are, and they're gone for fucking 200 years. Like, I don't know how fucking long they live, but maybe that's only like 4 or 5 generations.
Well, let's be realistic too, right? Like, we are not a seafaring people in 2024 the way that we probably were in the 16, 17, 1800s, right?
Yeah, but even then, though, Sean, like, it's not like everybody in the world was on these ships or on these boats. Like, it was a select percentage of people.
I agree, but I'm just saying.
I'm sure that they weren't the brightest fucking people.
People overall out there on the water are probably less now than there even was then. So, like, the odds of even encountering,
I don't know, man, because you got to think about it. Think about like, how many people are boaters and fishermen? And
there could be more people that are actually on the water, but like, everything is way more automated. You would not be paying attention to like everything.
That would be a weird statistic. I would like to know that, Sean. Like the.
I wonder.
It's an interesting thought.
I'm gonna just see, because
it's like the whole question: are there more doors or wheels in the world?
Can we Google this? So let's see here. Because obviously this won't be a true exact number, I'm sure, but
no, but dude, 400 years ago, is that what the number was? 400 years ago?
200.
Oh, 200 years ago.
So let's see.
Like, the amount of like, ships and boats 200 years ago compared to now, to me, would be like a fraction, like an absolute fraction.
Yeah, but in comparison to the amount of people, though, you know what I mean?
Well, if you're doing it per capita, maybe it's closer to equal. I don't know, but the amount of traffic that people are going and like to see these things, I think is like more along the lines of what I'm thinking. And like, there's definitely way more people that would be out on the seas now.
And here's the thing too, like, I don't think we're ever going to find like a super accurate statistic, because who was taking these type of statistics back in these times?
No, it'd all be just like educated guesses.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think that people would have had records. It's like, in 1824, there was 1,000 sea-bearing vessels that were fucking registered with the government.
All right, you ready? So Google Foo never fails me. All right, so the best data I can get for current statistics would be 2022. According to this, now this is total boat registrations. So obviously not all registered boats are going to be on the open ocean. There's going to be a lot of small craft and stuff in this number. Either way, this is a recreational boating statistical abstract. 11.9 million boats registered and documented in the U.S. in 2022, down slightly compared to 2021. When I look at a number of boats in the U.S. around the 1800s, it says in the early 1800s, around the time of the 1812 war, the U.S. was second in merchant shipping, had over 10,000 vessels, 69,000 seamen, and shipped over 1 million metric tons a year.
He said seamen.
I sure did. Giggity.
Sorry, I had to.
But so 10,000 vessels just in our merchant shipping fleet. So that gives us at least a little bit of perspective there. Because I don't know that like you guys are saying, I don't know that we could pull without like doing the actual digging research ourselves.
Yeah, it's going to be too much.
And counting it for months.
If you just like even Googled like how many like fucking what are the ships that go? Like, are those merchant ships like the ones that go to like China and come back with all the storage containers? Like, what would those kinds of ships be called?
A
freight liner? Like what?
A freight, yeah. Well, that's what they'd be called now.
So, however many those were roughly, if there's 10,000,
think about how many of those fucking ships we have out there, on top of fucking cruise ships, on top of personal vessels, on top of research vessels. You know what I mean?
Dude, think about how many
100. Here we go.
You got the Coast Guard, then you got the navies.
You just drove a great one. So merchant ships, perfect way to actually draw this comparison. Okay, that's actually great. I'm glad you brought that up. So merchant ships, which would have been the cargo ship of its era. We had over 10,000 vessels in the 1800s here in the U.S.
Yeah, 1812-ish.
According to the January 2022 statistics that the last piece was referencing, there were some 178 merchant ships flying the U.S. flag.
178?
178.
Okay.
Compared to just over 10,000 U.S. merchant vessels. Now,
now my question would be this. In 1812, it was said that the Americans had the second biggest.
Correct.
So I wonder what that number of 700 or whatever would be nowadays. Like, is that fucking 50th? Because like, how many fucking boats does China have? Because they must have a fuck ton then.
All right, cargo ships by country. Let's see if we can get the statistic. Merchant ships worldwide by owning country. Distribution of vessels in the global merchant fleet. All right, yeah. Only necessary cookies because kick rocks. I wasn't expecting that to be the first place country. Holy smokes! So the first place with 17.6%. This is based on the 2011 statistics. Is Greece.
Wow.
Greece actually has the most merchant ships flying their flag currently, followed by China, and then Japan. China's at 11.6 and Japan's 11.4. Singapore then with 6.6, followed by Hong Kong. Then Germany, followed by South Korea. Then Bermuda, Norway, France, then the US, then the UK. US is 2.6% of the entire global merchant shipping fleet.
Well, that kind of makes sense because you got to think about how much we import. We don't export much.
And I
when
that's
you're
a great
like
point.
Importing shit, you're not going and getting it and then bringing it back. It's like basically coming.
Another thing too, I think to think about is that merchant shipping today are giant cargo ships with these massive storage containers. And in the 1800s, merchant shipping was like a steamship or, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, it could have even been almost a fucking sailboat.
Sort of.
Right. Like they weren't.
The Titanic built.
Titanic?
I think it was like 1800 something.
So yeah, it had been something along
that
kind of. Not, it wouldn't look like that, but whatever technology they were using to run their ships at that point, I think, wasn't it still coal?
Yes, probably.
Ships of the 1800s.
Dude, I'm liking this history lesson right now.
Right? This is fun. Let's get a look at some merchant ships of the 1800s. And according to...
Sorry. I just got to say this real quick. Sorry, Sean. The Titanic's from 1912. Oh. We're way off.
Okay.
We're way off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
My bad.
According to Google, we are looking at majoritively sail-driven.
Still so. Okay.
Yeah, we're still talking,
me to another
large sailboats.
I heard this on another podcast, but it just got my brain thinking. because I want to ask you guys this question. So you know the mast of a like those giant ships back in the day.
Yep.
Do you think it was one solid tree, or do you think they built the mast with like multiple pieces of lumber to make it more structurally sound?
Like what's that? We're talking about like really, really big ships, like the
Yeah.
biggest kind of those eras.
You know, if you think about like I'm picturing like a pirate ship, you know, like the very large fucking mast with the fucking big ass sails on it.
See, like this is the thing, right? I just don't know enough about the geography of all the places that would have had ships. But I mean, it seems like people would probably have multiple pieces on bigger ships like that. It would not be one. Like, where are you going to get those trees from, dude? You're going to just go get a fucking 80-foot, 90-foot tree that's
Well, here's
dead
the
ass
thing.
fucking straight?
Well, you probably
Think about it, bro. They
would.
probably had a lot more back then, dude.
Yeah, you would have
Yeah,
had
but there's
a
like
lot of that.
certain. No, but there's only certain species of trees that even would like be suitable.
But here's my thing, because I grew up around sailboats. A smaller recreational boat, and when I say smaller, I'm talking like 27, 30 feet. Those have an 80 to 90 foot mast. So when we get talking about a ship like a pirate ship, like something of that magnitude, that size, that first 90 feet is only the first probably third of the mast. So that's what you call the lower mast. Then there's usually arms that come across that. Then there's a mid mast, more arms that come across that, and then the top mast.
Yeah.
So this way you can support the three sails on the different tiers all the way down that mast, right? You have to have timbers, multiple timbers to do that. And
I'm just mainly talking about just the solid. Oh shit.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like that's what I'm talking about as well.
Okay,
you need
yeah.
multiple timbers to do that, because that first 90 feet is only the first third of it. You still have another like probably 100 plus feet to go above that.
Yeah, I wonder how tall they were.
So I already did the Googling, because we have this data
Yeah.
from our history, right? So the main mast consisted of the main mast proper or lower mast, the top mast, and the top gallant mast. The lower mast was the largest. It was often made up of several pieces of timber, carefully joined together and held in place with ropes until about 1800, and then iron bands were used after that.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm picturing it.
Yep. And this is actually coming from the USS Constitution Museum here in Boston, discussing construction of boats of that era. And the USS Constitution still sits in the harbor to this day. You can go tour it. It was a actual warship that our U.S. military used. Large sailing vessel, fire the cannons.
Dude, it's pretty crazy
cool thing.
to see like pieces of like history that are still like, you know, around, because we don't out here in California we have the Queen Mary, which is like a ship's like similar to like a Titanic sort of ship situation, where it's like they got a ballroom, like a, you know, that sort of thing, and it's kind of got the same sort of look, but I think it's definitely a smaller vessel, but dude, it was just a trip to walk around that and just like see how the things were constructed, and like, you know, the fucking steel, but also the elegance of like the ballroom and like the fucking, you know, dining section and like all that stuff. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
I mean, that's
okay,
that
listen to
cool
this.
era.
I want you guys to hear this. So this is like new age shit. Okay, so the tallest mast on a sailboat, okay, it has 3 masts. It's this fucking sailing yacht. Like, this thing is probably luxury as fuck. But it has 3 masts that are 100 meters high.
Damn.
Okay, 100 meters high.
300 feet.
So that's 1/10 of a fucking kilometer, bro. Like, yeah, so 300 feet. There's three of them. And it has the sail area of 3,747 square meters.
That's bigger than some people's apartments.
Dude, that's bigger than fucking city blocks.
Like,
like, that's absolutely enormous. So, and like, I can't get a good picture because I hate hitting cookies on these things, bro. Fuck it. Okay. I'm doing this for you guys. Okay. And I normally would not have hit okay on cookies on just some rando site, but so like it's like a fucking legit yacht, and those fucking things are 100 meters, dude. 100 meters.
Fucking crazy, bro.
does it say how long the body of that yacht is?
Let me just
You
quickly
gotta think
scroll.
about how far down do you think the fucking I forgot what that part of the ship's called for like sailboats, because you know how they've got like
The keel and stuff.
yeah.
So here's the thing. Looking at that picture, I have a sneaky suspicion that's a catamaran design. And if that's a catamaran design, the keel, that bit that's under the water is surprisingly a small amount of draft. But it's because of the way that the boat is designed.
That's probably how, because seeing from the front, it's probably like pontoonish.
Exactly. My when I was growing up, my father was a trimaran guy. So we had, it's the main body, the main hull, and then you have two outer hulls, the Amas and Akas, if you will. And that is, how it stabilizes. And because of those additional outer pontoons, if you will, it is very stable. And it also just reduces that displacement. So those things can go fast.
Dude, this thing says it's here, let me find when I was reading that part. It says 90. It says this is the wind speed in knots that the masts are able to withstand. This is the equivalent to gusts of 167 kilometers per hour, which is 100 miles per hour.
It can do so it can withstand 90 knot winds with the sails up.
100 mile an hour fucking winds,
which
or
is ludicrous.
12 hurricane.
Yeah, like that's ludicrous. You wouldn't be out in open water with your sails up in that kind of weather. So that's the kind of over engineering they put into that.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, the masts are all made of carbon fiber, by the way. So this is obviously new age.
Yeah,
but
it has to be.
it's very high.
Yeah, I mean, for something that tall,
very, very high.
And to be a sailboat, it has to be carbon fiber. I mean, my father's 27-foot trimaran, like I said, that was like an 80 or 90-foot mast, and it was aluminum, and it still took between 2 and 3 people to raise that mast. So, like, it's a job, man. You have to say about owning a boat. Boat stands for bust out another 1,000.
Dude, honestly. I know that one of my childhood, very good friends, his dad actually won an Olympic medal in sailing. I think in I think it might have been in 1984, maybe. I feel like it was at the LA Games or something like that. I don't know. I'll try Googling. But I do know that he was really into sailing, and he grew up always being around Georgian Bay, which is this massive body of water that's connected to the Great Lakes. And he used to just sail there all the time. He would race competitively as a kid and shit. And I think that he raced, it was 2-man smaller sailboat.
Yep. Yeah.
It wasn't a big fucking ship or like a dinghy. It was like two people, and you'd be just ripping and shit.
Dude, I
Yeah,
always thought it was so funny that they called the smaller ship a dinghy.
Yo, honestly, I never understood why it's a dinghy. I'm gonna Google this right now.
I just think it's hilarious because it's a funny word.
Maybe it's like the first person's last name that invented it. Yeah,
Like
I made this tiny little ship. It's like, oh, it's a dinghy.
Oh,
Like Kleenex.
We are
Kleenex.
All right. We're about to get canceled over this one.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh man, we were being very culturally insensitive. Shame on us. But hey,
Does that know what it's called?
We didn't know. So dinghy is name for various native boats in the East Indies. From Hindi, dinghy, small boat. Perhaps from Sanskrit. So yeah, it's the actual Hindi word for small boat.
Huh. Either way, for not knowing what it actually means, like I always thought it was a funny word, but now that I know, I'm like, that's actually kind of makes it cool.
It's cool, but it's still a funny word. Now it honestly, I'm about to be really culturally insensitive here because it makes me hear Hindi music a little differently. Dingy 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 dingy.
God damn it, Sean. Not cool, man. Cool.
Oh, no, honestly, talking about something like that. So I love when people make weird mashups of stuff, and somebody took that like traditional Punjabi sound and put Limp Bizkit's break stuff over it. And it's actually hysterical because Fred Durst rapping on it actually was really good.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of things like that where they'll put like two songs that do not go, but somehow do. And you're like, why is this working right now? Like this should not work, but it is at the moment. And I'm not upset, but I don't know if I like it either. Like, I don't know where it's like one of those awkward situations where you're like, wait, is this good?
Well, there's this one dude, he goes by There I Ruined It. And like that dude slays me because he uses a variety of different technologies in music production to take a song like, let's say, Disturbed's Get Down with the Sickness, but then make it sound like it's being sung by a completely different artist in their style. So that might be like Johnny Cash playing Get Down with the Sickness in the style of like a Ring of Fire era Johnny Cash. And it's amazing to me just how clever some of these mashups can get, and also how realistic they are to the point that he does this stuff with the different software and stuff that he uses in production, and it actually got used in Congress as an example of AI, even though it's man-made.
That's literally what I was just saying. I was like, it's AI, bro. It's fucking AI, dude. He ain't doing it. He's a fucking machine, man.
Honestly, what's disturbing is that
Disturbed?
No, they're not actually that disturbing. They're disappointing to me. That's another story. I had such high hopes for that band in the beginning, and I was like, no thanks. Not for me.
Yeah, there was a couple bangers, and then I was like,
yeah, like I heard Get Down with the Sickness, and I was like,
a lot of those though. At that, I feel like in like the mid to late 90s, like early 2000s era music where they came out with their first album and it ripped, and then after that, like somehow, of course,
Nickelback. Excuse me.
Well, here's the thing. You know what,
dude? We just talked about Nickelback not long ago. God damn,
they're not that bad, bro. You know what I mean? They got a couple. You know what I mean? They don't deserve. I don't feel like they deserve all the hate that they get, but I still think it is funny when people say it. But at the same time, it's just like, hey man, there's something out there for everybody, and that one just ain't for you.
Well, so here's the thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like Nickelback is another one of those bands that's disappointing to people because, like you're saying, you get that first album and you hear some real bangers and rippers, and you're like, damn, this band might turn out really good. And then unfortunately what happens is they end up making a really good ballad. That song becomes a huge hit. And then they decide, all right, we're just going to pump out songs like that because they make us a bunch of money. Creed did it.
It happens with everybody.
Stained did it. Nickelback did it.
I think the reason why it cracks me up, or like it just, I think it's funny, is because it happens. We all know it's going to happen. You know what I mean? What are we expecting? You know what I mean? You should be happy when it doesn't happen and then get stoked. Otherwise, just expect it. You know what I mean? Because then set yourself up for success. You know, expect the worst, but hope for the best. You know what I mean? And then you never.
Dude, honestly, like, here's the deal, though. Like, when it comes to something like Nickelback, dude, you could play me 2 songs. You could play me 4 songs, and you could say, okay, Chris, I need you to do something for me. I need you to tell me what the chronological order is of when these dropped. I'm pretty confident that I would either A, not have fucking any clue at all and just be 100% guessing, or B, just thinking that I'll be like, oh, this is like less bad to my taste. It's got to be older. Like, I mean, that's those, which ultimately I'd be still guessing. It's just the second one I'd have like ever so slight, thoughts on it, on how I got there, as opposed to just being like 1, 2, 4, 3.
I would only know this much. I would hear Leader of Men and be like, that one's the first, because I remember that coming out and being like, this could be a good rock band. And then, like, I heard nothing about them for years because I went down a whole different direction and rabbit hole of rock and heavy music. And then I just remember Photograph being played everywhere and coming to hate that song. And I think that's honestly, this is where I think Nickelback gets fucked.
It's not Nickelback's fault. It's the fucking radio,
exactly,
and fucking MTV and whatever other station played the fuck out of these songs. Honestly, that's what fucks a lot of these bands. I agree. Is because here's the thing about radio that a lot of people don't know is they have a fucking lineup, and every now and then they'll put a new song in, but other than that, it's the same 5 to 6 songs, maybe a couple more, that are in a constant loop all day.
Record companies pay a lot of money to get their artist songs into these rotations. And at the end of the day, that's why your favorite radio station can continue to provide you free music just by you tuning in. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I bitch about it from time to time, because like my local classic rock station, I'm like, can you please play some other classic rock bands that I know you have? But they insist on playing, AC/DC heavy in rotation, Zeppelin heavy in rotation.
They play the hits, bro.
But that's the thing, though, is like, I'm talking like bands that have hits. Like, they could play more Pink Floyd, but I guarantee you that somebody out there is pushing them to, funding them a little bit more to play a little bit more of these bands. That's just how the system works. It's how companies stay in business.
Or whoever's running the stations more into those bands, like, no, this is what I want on my station, so we're playing this and that, because there are those people too.
But, guaranteed. Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing that happens too, and even more so even now with like, there's so many people that I probably won't ever check out because Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube has ruined it for me, because everybody is using the same fucking clip from the same fucking song in every fucking post they're doing on every platform, to where it's like the first few times I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then after about like a day or two, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I don't need to hear this fucking song ever again. And it makes me never want to ever check out. I won't say all the time, because there has been a few times where I found a gem or a diamond in the rough, but majority of the time it's just garbage.
I think like saddle that, I was reading that a lot of artists also are upset with this because in a similar but opposite manner, there are a lot of people who only seek out the artist for that one TikTok song, but they don't know anything about the song. So once they hear it the first time, they never listen to it again because they only know the snip that everybody uses. And that's all they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of artists right now who've been coming out and talking about how the way that the music industry is going right now, we're in a position where the artist is becoming devalued, and it's making it more and more viable for something like AI music to just kind of take the place of actual artists, because all people really want is something for a minute and a half little video clip, and then they're moving on because our attention span,
bro.
Yeah, our attention span is nothing anymore. We all have a touch of fucking ADHD now, and apparently whoa, side rant real quick. When the hell did ADHD become autism?
It's on the spectrum.
Dude, I was just about to say, because honestly, Sean, when you're about to say it, let's be honest, everybody's got a touch of the, and you said ADHD, and I was about to say the tism. Because that's bad, I know. I apologize.
No, but I'm going there too. So
not only that, but like it's just like all of a sudden there's just like this wave of everybody all of a sudden either finding out or being diagnosed or this or that they have some form of autism or ADHD or ADD or something like that. And it's just like, it's rampant lately, dude. Like, you know how many people are being subscribed Adderall and like things of that nature now because of these sorts of diagnoses now?
Yeah, like
it's insane.
It honestly, conspiracy moment. It makes me suspicious that they're literally just trying to pump as many people in our world up with methamphetamines as possible so that they're just either completely sedated or completely fucking whacked out so that they can just like shut them off and be like, see, they're dangerous to society.
Hey, Sean.
Well, like this
on
is the thing though, right? So like, I don't know if they're doing it for that specific reason. Like, I mean, they could be, but I think that like, if you look down to it, I bet you more of it comes from like the food we eat, and like the food that we eat over the last like 30 to 40 years has just like fallen off the fucking cliff, bro. Like regardless, no matter where it is, like we've been maybe more so in America than some other places, but like, dude, guaranteed, like food everywhere is like different. Like, dude, I recently learned this about like white bread. And so like white bread and is not like, I used to think white bread was bad, right? And other breads were fine. But like white bread, like regular plain ass, like fucking grocery store Wonder Bread or whatever brand, was like the bad one. But it turns out that it's like basically anything that uses quick rise yeast. So like if you have quick rise yeast, apparently, I can't remember what it is, but like it's something to do with the way that your body breaks it down. And because in North America, like a lot of people eat bread and it's all of this style of bread, and this style of bread actually makes you more overweight. So that's probably why people that are like on Atkins diets, because they're just not eating bread. But if you use like slow rise bread, like people used to fucking have, like probably 100 years ago, that it was actually really not bad for you to eat bread. And like, you wouldn't be like, oh, I shouldn't eat bread because it adds weight to me. It's because of this fucking yeast, bro. So like, if you can get, I can't remember, I think it's sourdough bread. There is no quick rise yeast sourdough bread. So like, if you're going to eat bread, like it's actually a healthy choice to eat like sourdough bread because it has the slow rise yeast. So, like, I mean, there's so many things that it could be, but like that's just another perspective you could look at it from.
Even on the subject of bread, though, there's other issues that, like, I know a lot of countries take an issue with American style bread. Like, for example, we use a enriched flour, which is a way more processed flour, and as a result, it strips it of a lot of its nutrient value. So there's that. We use a shitload more sugar in our bread than a lot of other countries do in America. So that's another thing that is very off-putting in that sense. But there's so many other things. Like, I just pulled up a quick list here: 28 foods that are American foods banned in other countries. One of them being brominated vegetable oil, which is a common ingredient in a lot of sodas. It is a flame retardant and can cause a host of health issues. For these reasons, it's banned in several places, most notably Europe, Japan. Coca-Cola and Pepsi said in 2014 that they were removing it from their beverages, but in the end, there isn't much regulation on it. So it may or may not be in some of those foreign ones. Obviously, we have certain hormones in our milk that are banned in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Europe. We use food dyes that are banned in a lot of countries, including yellow 5 and 6. We use a lot of the mechanically separated meats that are banned in other countries, because at that rate, like, a lot of that mechanically separated meat, like the pink slime and the chicken that we've seen, if you see any of those kind of food documentaries, that's a whole bunch of, like, the waste bits, the cartilage and the fat, the skin, like it's all the waste trimmings and stuff. So that freaks a lot of people out. Chlorine treated chicken is a thing in the US, and it's deemed safe for consumption. The chickens are treated with chlorine in order to remove harmful bacteria. The EU and UK, however, aren't into that, and it's been banned since 1997.
Yeah, they got off the ship a long time but America's like, nah, dude, we're good.
American pork is banned.
Dollars this makes us.
You ready for this one? American pork is banned in 160 of the 196 countries in the world because much of it contains the growth hormone receptamine, and it allows companies to produce more meat using less feed. This drug causes many pigs to become so large that they can barely stand or walk. They suffer terribly at slaughterhouses, being trampled, dragged, and electronically prodded. American pork banned in 160 countries. No wonder the American pork lobby is as heavy as it is. It brings up the certain bread products that we were talking about this one brings up potassium bromate, an oxidizer that helps bread rise, linked to kidney and thyroid cancers, banned in Europe, Canada, and China. Frozen dinners. Carbonamide. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. It's another chemical additive in American bread, banned in Australia, the UK, and most of Europe. Also found in frozen dinners and packaged baked goods. Another leavening agent scientists have linked to cancer in rodents. Banned in the EU for over a decade. American sugarcane is banned. It's treated with a weed killer, atrazine, linked to birth defects, reproductive tumors, skin sensitization, and muscle degeneration. It's banned in the European Union, also easily leaks into waterways where it harms wildlife and the environment.
So basically, they're trying to kill us.
I mean, it doesn't really sound like the opposite of that.
That's honestly the entire time I'm like, well, that dead. Okay, yeah, dead. Yeah, eventually dead. Yep. Okay.
American chewing gum. So American chewing gum contains the preservative butylated hydroxynosol, or BHA, known to cause cancer in rats, also found in cereal, baked goods, packaging, cosmetics, snack foods, meats, butter, dehydrated potatoes, and beer. Banned in Japan, the UK, and much of Europe. Wow.
Wow.
Salmon. I believe I know. I think I know what this one is. I think this is because we dye salmon. Wild caught salmon is pink because of the carotenoids in their diet. American farm salmon, however, does not eat a natural diet. Because of this, the farmers feed them a synthetic astaxanthin. This can potentially cause eyesight damage and is therefore banned in Austria and New Zealand. Oh, wow. Fruit Loops? And Fruity Pebbles, too?
Good. I don't need either one of those.
It's the artificial dyes that are used to make it the colors. Many of these dyes have adverse health effects on both children and adults. This includes cancers and healthy DNA mutation. For this reason, Norway, Finland, France, and Austria have all banned them.
Dude, so like those are here, but I have noticed like I didn't eat Fruit Loops for fucking ever, right? Like maybe when I was a kid, when we would go camping, you get those like little tiny square boxes. And I do remember like the colors of Fruit Loops at that time were like much more vibrant. The last time I saw Fruit Loops, which was probably in the last 5 years, dude, they just looked like shitty pastel-y kind of colors. Like the dyes were definitely not as vibrant. And
you probably have the food dye version. Because in a lot of these banned countries, they use food dyes, like actual food-based dyes, to color their cereal. So like it'll be, say, beet juice to create the reds. And so it won't look like the red of an American Fruit Loop because it's beet juice, not the artificial red dye that we use.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that could very much be it. That might be the difference. Like maybe when I was a kid, we had something a lot like what you have now, but now we do not have that. No way. It's like some of the, I don't want to say that they almost all look the same and it's like the slightest difference, but
they do.
There's really not that much of a difference.
It looks like someone took a picture of Fruit Loops and removed all the saturation from the color.
Yeah. Like washed the fuck out.
Just washed out the color on all of the Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
So another one on here is fake blueberry. The artificial dyes used to make the artificial blueberry you see in Nutri-Grain bars, toaster waffles, and most prepackaged fake blueberry-containing foods are made from petroleum. They've been linked to brain cancer, nerve cell degeneration, and hyperactivity. Banned in Norway, France, Finland, Austria, and the UK. Many of these blueberry snack foods still exist there. They just contain real blueberry.
Yeah, why not just put blueberry in it? You know what I mean? What's the point of the artificial blueberry?
It's probably way cheaper.
Cost. Yeah, it's got to be cost.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, what's the fucking point? Like,
and shelf stability.
Yeah.
You can't make a Nutri-Grain bar that'll last 8 months to a year.
I like those too, dude.
I do too. We're about to ruin M&Ms here. Next time you're in the EU, have a look at the ingredients list on the package of M&Ms. You'll see things like red cabbage, lemon, and radish. This is because the food dyes used in American M&Ms are banned for use in these countries. Again, these countries are concerned about the risks of hyperactivity in children, among other health risks. So yeah, that's same idea as what we were just talking about with those Fruit Loops. Maraschino cherries in the United States are given their bright red color via red dye 40. This is also used in grenadine and many cherry pie mixes. This dye is banned in France, Belgium, Switzerland, and Denmark over health and safety concerns.
Dude, I think that would also be another thing that falls in line here because like, I definitely don't think that our cherries look like the cherries from movies. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, the cherry on top, like it's not like that fucking crazy red. It's not like as red as my shirt. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Like that's just a specific like dessert cherry. If you go to like the grocery store and buy real cherries, that's not the color you're getting. Yeah.
No. But that's what I was talking about though. Yeah. That's why I said Sunday or like on top of like a black forest.
Like a nice piece of cake or something.
Yeah, whatever. What is that cake called? Is it a Black Forest cake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You might also see it on like a German chocolate cake.
Yeah. Okay.
So
which isn't even German, by the way.
Yeah.
What is?
German chocolate cake. It's not even German.
Maybe like German people made it in America, and they're like,
We're about
"Oh,
to
it's
do
the German
this.
cake," and then they're like, "Oh, it's the German. Oh, can I get the recipe for the German cake?"
Why is a German chocolate cake called that? A common misconception is that the German chocolate cake comes from Germany. In fact, the name comes from American baker Samuel German, who developed a type of dark baking chocolate in 1852.
Well, so technically it is German then. It's
Mr.
just not
German.
from the country. It's the
Well, like,
namesake.
so a Black Forest cake is like, actually from Germany, though. So I guess he might have made a spin off of that, which made the German cake. Because
So-
I'm pretty confident the Black Forest is in Germany, like the actual like land.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Forest.
I just heard German chocolate cake, and I was like, oh wait, I know something about this. It's not really German, but I guess it is.
And German chocolate cake has a lot of coconut on it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And then, you know what? That would be the first time that something's named from something, and you think that that's where it's from, and it's actually not.
Like French
Like,
fries.
dude, well, French fries would be one. Even like my dog, right? Like he's an Australian Shepherd that was never from Australia. Like they were developed in America. So like, it's just one of those things that you just automatically, you're like, wait, why is it called the Australian Shepherd then?
Speaking of weird animal names,
I know why it's called that, but
have you ever noticed that birds have some of the most unhinged names?
Cockatoo?
dude, animals in general, but I would not be surprised if like fish are crazy.
So, hold on. Here's the thing. Like with,
And do
with
you mean scientific names?
so like with bird names, like
Oh,
this
sorry,
shit
birds, not
gets
fish.
fucking really weird because you have things like the horned screamer. We have, boobies.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like common names, not
Yeah.
Okay.
The cockapoo, the woodcock, the the titmouse. Like it literally just feels like someone was like, fuck it. A great poo-too. Like bird
The
names.
dodo bird.
Bro, bird names can be pretty fucking unhinged. The woodcock. There's an actual bird called a woodcock.
Dude, I always thought that it was really fucked up, and by like maybe it really isn't. It's just like me just thinking about it. But dude, like a badminton birdie is called a shuttlecock.
Yep.
Like that's like actually what it's called. And I remember as a kid being like, why is it not just called the birdie? And
It's
then,
not as fun.
but then I was also like, dude, like people say flipping the bird and like all these different things that like have to do with a penis. So I was like, yo, man, is this like even a birdie? Is like that? Oh, you know what I mean? And it like definitely threw me into like a Shedtime moment where I was like, yo, am I just like unlocking all these things right now and blowing my own mind?
Birds even real, bro?
No, birds aren't real.
Birds are
No,
birds are
birds or
something.
words. Either
So,
or. They're all
here,
made
like-
up.
Here's some more unhinged bird names. How about satanic nightjar?
Sure.
This is a
Sure.
legitimate bird.
Sure.
We got the little bustard.
Man, we don't have like any of those cool names in Canada that I know of.
We have the
I'm not a bird
dixicle.
watcher, but a what?
Dixicle, bro?
A dick-sissel. Sorry, a dick-sissel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you
way better,
can you
dude.
spell that?
Hold on. I'm gonna do everybody one better so that our viewers at home will be able to see this. I'm gonna switch to my fancy. Whoa, magic,
Whoa,
magic.
Whoa, dude.
Oh, hey.
That was
No,
pretty
you
cool.
Saw it.
All right, now you guys will see. Here we go. We actually have the dick sissel bird here on the screen.
Yo, does it have the call, like the sounds it makes? Like the little play audio part?
This does not, because this is a list on a separate website that is showing some
Okay.
old Twitter tweets. Here we go. We have the tiny sky tyrant.
It's a hawk of some sort.
Yep. Tiny sky tyrant. The go away bird. Yep. The go away bird. I like that. How about the pendulum tit?
How about it?
I mean, I don't know what a pendulum is.
How about it?
Here's that horned screamer.
Dude,
Look at
that's
that.
kind of a crazy looking motherfucker, huh?
He legit got off like a straight up unicorn horn thing going on. Looks like he could fuck you up.
It looks like
Goddamn.
it's like a
He made me sneeze.
vulture or something.
Ooh, here we go. We got a fluffy backed tit babbler. A fluffy backed tit babbler.
That was my nickname in high school.
Hey! Oh, the sad fly catcher. You'd be sad too if all you ate were flies.
Yeah, doesn't sound very appetizing.
A smew? Somebody totally gave up naming this one.
Or they were drunk.
I mean, it looks like it's almost in a colder climate. I wonder if they were like freezing. And they're like, smew.
They sneezed when they named this one. Smew.
Oh, yeah. A somber tit?
There's a lot of tits, bro.
Yeah, a lot of tits. A typical Swift. So, that's, most of Taylor's fans.
Typical Swifts.
Yeah, are they Swifties as well?
Yeah,
like fans of that bird?
They better be
European
now.
Shag, bro.
We got the European shag. Let's go. It's the Austin Power of the bird world.
Dude, actually
Yeah,
looks it looks kind of cool.
A rough-faced shag. Maybe that's the Austin
Dude,
Powers.
Shags and tits, bro.
Let's go. The common loon. You got those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have those all over.
You got those in Canada.
I don't know if they're here because there's like literally, I think there's one lake on this whole island, and it's like it's a lake, but it's very not big. It's not like what I'm used to. So I don't think that there's loons here. But
Whoa, dude! Some of these have got long ass names. Red rumped bush tyrant smew.
Yep. The red-rumped bush tyrant smew.
It's a mouthful.
He's half bush tyrant, half smew. We got the noisy pitta. That's gotta be Australian. He said, "No, look at that. Look at there it is. Can be found in Australia in New South Wales."
Fuck yeah!
That's a noisy pitta. A noisy miner.
Is that one also out there?
It's not telling us where this one is. We got a spangled drongo. Oh, that's out there in Australia. A drongo? That just sounds Australian.
Shout outs to all the fucking bird watchers, bro. They're loving this episode.
The hoary puff leg. That's impressive. Hoary puff leg.
hoary puff leg.
And put that little leg out. Of course, the swallow.
Classic. Yep. The swallow.
Is there a spit? Hey,
Yeah, there is. Isn't there? Oh no, it's a sandpiper. No, isn't there a sandspit? Isn't there a sandspit bird?
I'm not sure, but there is a ruddy pigeon.
sure there is.
So
There's
you
a
got
lot of
that
different types of pigeons, bro.
a drab seed eater. Well, that was just
Yeah, that's a tiny bird.
that's just lazy naming now. Like he's what kind of bird was he? I don't know. Some drab seed
I'm sure
eater.
these are just like their nicknames, not their official names.
Yeah, they're like
They're
common names.
scientific.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? It's like most people, unless you're deep in it, you don't know the Latin names.
Perplexing what?
Perplexing scrub wren. These
Calling
guys live in
anything
Indonesia
perplexing.
and Papua New Guinea.
Dude, they're gonna run out of like legit names. There's so many fucking birds. Birds are everywhere, man.
The monotonous lark.
Dude, these names are intense, bro.
The noisy friar bird.
A lot of noisy.
The noisy scrub bird.
Welcome to the
Man,
bird
like people that
podcast.
are bird watchers, like I can understand them watching birds and like what they do. I just don't think that it's for me. But I think I would do it for like a weekend. I think I could do it for a weekend with somebody that was like really
Dude,
fucking into it, just to
it's like-
get that under my belt. You know what I mean? But
It's
like,
like
I
going
couldn't
to
do it
the
all the
zoo,
time.
bro, and going inside of the what are they called? The atriums?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
all
or
the birds
aviary.
are. Aviary atrium, same thing or different?
I think aviary is like maybe that's just butterflies. I thought maybe it's all whatever it is.
Either way, what one of those words, wherever the
A
fucking
word.
enclosed building where they have trees and natural plants with all the fucking fancy birds and stuff flying around. I like going in there and bird watching for like a little while, but you wouldn't catch me like hanging out all day, every day. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't know.
But like, dude, like one of my buddies' dads, like he was really into bird watching. He used to go on hikes. Like he was like a pretty fit dude, and he would just go on hikes, and he'd have like a book, and he'd have a journal. And if like he ever got stumped on something, he would like quickly look it up, and he would like mark down where he was the day that he found these or saw these, whatever. And like he was like really into it, right? And I could see why some people enjoy it because like he just loved nature. Like this man, they would always go camping and like he just really liked being outside. So like it made sense that he would find a hobby that would draw him
outside.
into these areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would rather do other things outside. But it is still interesting. I can understand how people would be into it.
It's like similar to like how Sean is into his aquariums and his aquascaping and that sort of thing. Like I personally enjoy looking at it and seeing the process and all that, but physically doing it myself probably not going to happen just because it is a lot of work, and I know that. You know what I mean? And I am very scatterbrained and forgetful, and I would have some dead fish pretty quick. You know what I mean? Or some dead plants if I went live plant route. But that's besides the point, and that's why I get to enjoy it through Sean, which is awesome.
But here's the thing, right? Like there's a trade-off to me in the reward, right? So like maybe I'm a little too materialistic in some fashion here, but I can't get behind bird watching for the sake of seeing the birds. Now, I could sit with my camera for hours on end watching birds, trying to get great photos of them, and then the reward is there for me, and I'd be totally down to do it. But from the perspective of like what Chris was describing, where like this man is going out, he's actively looking for different bird species and marking down where he was when he saw them, and that's that. I at least want the photo, like for me that would be the trade.
Yeah,
like
I think for him, for like just the guy that Chris was talking about, I think from his perspective, the little note of where he was at and what bird he saw is like a little mental picture for him. But I see where you're coming from too, because I would maybe be more inclined for something like that, but I don't know if it'd be birds. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot for me. But here's the thing, dude. You know what's crazy about birds, dude, is I don't think people give them enough credit for how fucking smart some of these bird species are, dude. Because lately on my Instagram feeds and YouTube shorts and stuff, I've been getting all kinds of fucking talking bird videos, and these motherfuckers are smart as shit.
Oh, I love it.
My mom showed me one the other day where it's like this parakeet, or no, it's a gray macaw or whatever, like
African gray.
Yeah, and he was like walking into his cage or whatever. And he stubbed his toe, and he's like, "Ow, fuck, that really hurt." Like he knew he stubbed his toe. It's like, how does he know that he stubbed his toe and that hurt? And to say that, you know what I mean? And then there's like this other video. I think it was like some sort of parakeet or something of that nature. One of those, or maybe a smaller parrot, but one that could talk, obviously. And it's got like the little babies that it's had. And it's like, "Oh, little baby," and it's like kissing him on the forehead and making little kissing noises, like, "Oh, little baby, I love you, little babies," and it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Or you see like the fucking the crow who fucking is sledding down the roof, and then he fucking gets to the end, picks his little fucking sled or whatever he's using back up, flies back up to the top, and then sleds back down again. It's like, this motherfucker just out here sledding.
Crows specifically, like, they are one of the smartest birds out there, and
Dude,
to the point that,
you
like,
can make trades with them.
yeah, they will literally bring you presents. They will trade with you. They know how to problem solve. I was watching a clip of somebody who he sets up little puzzles for the crows outside of his house, and they'll have to like pick up a stick and like push their food out of this like tube with the stick in order to be able to eat. I was like, Jesus Christ!
I've
Like,
seen one where it's a crow and there's this water bottle and it's like halfway down or something like that, so he can't like get to it. So what he starts doing is he flies away, comes back with a rock, drops a rock in it, and he keeps doing it and doing it and doing it until the water level rises enough to where he can drink out of it.
yeah, like the problem solving reasoning that you can watch in a crow is amazing.
So sorry. I was just like, I was tapped out for 1 second from the conversation. But, okay, so about like crows and ravens, dude, like they're fucking crazy smart. So, like this one NFT project that I'm a part of, right? It's like, when I say a part of, sorry, I hold these NFTs, and I'm involved in the community. But, dude, so one of the penultimate asset that you can own from like this business, right, is a raven. And so the person who like runs everything, like they're very well versed on ravens because he's like really proud of his like Nord heritage, like Viking heritage, and like ravens had like a big part of like the lore that kind of goes with them, I suppose, and like that kind of those kind of people, and so like he's like shared a bunch of knowledge, and dude, yeah, like I heard about like that a crow or a raven will literally take rocks and put them in something to raise the water level so they can actually reach the water, or that like crows and ravens. Maybe I know most of the things he says ravens, and I know that they're very similar, but he said that like they can actually speak better than any other bird. Like they can speak better than parrots and shit like that. It's just that they're not commonly domesticated and they're not commonly like kept. So like they don't have it, but like they do all sorts of shit. So I've been like just randomly dropping raven facts like on my Twitter account, like just to basically just because I think that they're cool, and like I'll put a picture of one of the ravens I have, like one of the NFTs, right? And I'll like put like a fucking thing. And dude, fucking, did you know that ravens have actually been able to fucking they copied the sounds of animals to then lure other animals in to shred up the meat of something that they found so they can then eat it. Because like there's certain times that they, like a crow doesn't have fucking teeth and like this crazy powerful beak. So they'll basically like make sounds that will like lure in like wolves or coyotes or whatever. They'll come in, they clearly won't pick the thing clean, and then the fucking crow's like, let's fucking eat. They set the table for us and everything. Like, but they make the sounds. Like when I read that, I had to read it like 4 times. So I was like, you're telling me that fucking those birds are that fucking smart?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, well, I mean, they're going to fucking kill us one day.
Ravens are one of the the biggest of that crow family, right? So obviously bigger brain.
It's like the Corvidae?
Corvid something, yeah.
It just like makes me think about like back in like any like medieval or like fucking old time like movie or video game or something where there was like that creepy fucking like warlock dude that had the talking raven.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes so much sense now.
Oh yeah. Ravens are the carriers of the soul to the other world. That's basically
Dude,
why the crow
check
is a
this out,
thing.
bro. What if, bro, ravens are just people?
Well, that's the thing. I think that there's like thoughts that like their spirits are like old spirits. It's like if you have like a raven that would come around your place, like it could be like, yo, that's like my grandpa. My grandpa is always watching over us. Like I think that it's like to that level for some cultures, like just crazy shit like that.
All
I
right.
want to see a talking raven now.
Dude, I'm sure that you could Google it. There's got to be somebody out there that's like fucking got one that couldn't fly anymore and like.
Oh, there's
like
one I see
hung out
on.
with it.
There's one I see on the reels and stuff. This chick has a raven, and it says, "What the fuck?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. She literally has a clip where she's like, "This bird says, what the fuck?" And it goes, "What the fuck?"
Sounds like Snoop Dogg. What the fuck?
Let's see though. I wanted to see real quick about the symbolism of the raven. It says that, and this is just a quick, piece of quote from Wikipedia here at the top of Google. Because of its black plumage, croaking call, and diet of carrion, the raven is often associated with loss and ill omen, yet its symbolism is complex. As a talking bird, the raven also represents prophecy and insight. Ravens in stories often act as psychoprompts, connecting the material world with the world of spirits.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't believe it. I don't disbelieve it, but you know what I mean.
On a more spiritual level, ravens often represent ancient wisdom, intelligence, and transformation. They are spectral messengers bearing the weight of untold visions and prophetic whispers. In the annals of mythology and folklore, these ebony enigmas inhabit a realm where symbols intertwine with human imagination. So, it's an interesting thought, right? We're going to get real meta for a second. If, as we understand from science so far, our physical mind and our brain is generating the conscious experience that we call life, then one could argue that if you believe it enough, it's 100% real. You know what I mean? Like, if your brain really is just creating everything that is your existence around you, then it's very quite possible that if you believe in these things enough, why wouldn't it be real? Maybe everything just takes enough belief for it to become real. And this kind of harkens back to the old "can you think and grow rich" conversation. You believe it enough. Is it really possible to be real? People claim it.
Man, but like yep. I'll just leave it at that. Yep. People claim it. People claim it.
Well,
If there wasn't people that claimed a bunch of stuff on this planet and like they could probably pass a lie detector test, I'd be like, okay.
I think moreover, it's not even that they claim it, it's that like some of these people credit it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that intrigues me, is that there are people in this world that credit it. And it's like, you want to look at those people and be like, you're people who I otherwise would think as decent human beings, rational human beings, and you credit this level of pure faith and belief in helping you manifest your dreams and your millions and what have you. And then it becomes hard to argue, like, well, what if? I mean, the end of the day, right? What have I got to lose? Just have some faith.
Yeah.
Do a lot for a lot of people, man.
You know? Maybe that's something that we've all lost in this world is just a little bit of faith in ourselves.
Believing in something, man.
In others, yeah,
you know?
just in something.
Dude, how often do you hear people say, man, I've lost all faith in humanity? I hear that fucking
shit.
I want to say weekly, but like it's damn sure is fucking monthly.
Yeah, it's pretty regular.
It's been a long fucking time that I've been hearing people say that, bro. Like,
yeah. And I mean, words have power. The more you repeat things, the more it becomes reality.
Yeah, the more normal it is.
Yeah, so the more you
it's
say
like anything,
things like
right?
that,
like,
right?
You know, you have people that are dealing with certain situations all the time, and like for a lot of people, the situations that they're dealing with are like things that they couldn't cope with, and they've just like built up that ability that it's just normal. You know, it's like kids that grow up in an abusive household. Like at some point, they just think probably everybody else is dealing with this. Like, but that's just because they've gotten used to it. Where some other kid, if they saw it happen, they could be fucking scarred for life from just that one memory. Not to say that the people that learn to deal with it aren't scarred. I'm also not trying to downplay that. I'm just saying that like things become normal the more that they happen. And you just think, oh, this is like regular. This is what happens for everybody. Do you know what I mean? When in realistic, like actuality, it's not like that. You're just adapting as a human being.
100%. I heard a great example of it recently. He's the dude from Pirate Software, and he used to work at Blizzard back, in the WoW days when, World of Warcraft was developing and constantly like at its peak. And he was saying how like, Blizzard worked them so hard that after he left and he went on to a new company, he had a meeting with his supervisor. He's like, I feel like, I'm not contributing anything, like I'm not getting enough done, blah, blah, blah. And he said, listen, I want you to take, the next couple of days off, have a 4-day weekend. I'm not even going to take it out of your PTO. He said, you have been overworked for so long at your last company that it's become normal to you and you just need to decompress. And he was right. When he came back, he was like, holy shit, yeah, this is what normal pace is. I've just been overworked for so long that it was normal. So it's just another example of how, like, the more you live with it, like, I'm experiencing that exact experience now where it's like, I was overworked for 2 years in my last job, and now I'm like, wow, this is a normal pace. This is nice. This is
You get used to this.
yeah, like this is nice. I don't have to fucking like scramble at every last second. Like I can take my time and do my shit. Wow. So I mean, yeah, it all has power, man. And I think to close tonight, our word of wisdom here is we need to speak more positives in this world. The more positives that we speak in this world, the more that we can manifest these positive things in the world. The more that we talk this, business of everything's awful and the world is hell and yada, 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 the more everything is awful and the more that we're going to see how the world is hell. But I think if we keep trying to spread more positivity in this world, then we can just keep creating more positivity in this world. And I think that's how we're going to close it tonight. So you know the drill. We're going to send it around the room and Uncle Chris starts.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys as always, you guys and gals and everybody. Yeah, I think that I'm just going to say, yeah, check us out Friday nights, Green Room, Frames Echo Vapor YouTube channel. I just like it. If you like it, that's awesome too. Of course, go to shedtimepodcast.com. Just go give a check. You can listen to the podcast there, build up some traffic for our website. I don't think that having traffic is bad. So by all means, go and check it out. I mean, I think that that's it. I'm not quite in the winter's over vibe yet, but I think we're getting there soon. So get ready for that motivational speech that I'll drop on you sometime in the future. But I think I'll just say, everybody be safe, have a good week, and live your best life. And then I'm going to throw it over to James. Go ahead, bro.
As always, shout out to all the Shedheads for all of you guys' continuous support. We greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go check out that merch shop if you haven't. Go grab yourself a little Shedtime hat, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a little dab mat, or who else knows what? There's all kinds of goodies over there. You can also go check out the Patreon, hit up the Discord, come hang out, chat with us, keep up with us on a more day-to-day kind of basis situation. Other than that, on Friday, like Chris said, in the green room, doing what we do, hanging out with you guys in a live sort of situation, real-time interaction. So come hang out with us there. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing what we always do. So I'm going to end it as I always do, sending out all those positive vibes, crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them. And as always, a little dab or bag will do ya.
Absolutely. So yes, my friends, big shout out to all of you listening, all of you catching those replays on the YouTube, or, all of our patrons who are getting their early access to both the video and all the new episodes. We appreciate every one of you Shedheads out there. It does mean the world to us. Go check out shedtimepodcast.com. You can find the merch shop. You can find all sorts of other cool stuff there. And really with that, I'm going to bring it to a close like I always do and tell you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun. It's the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out. Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right. Your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton at Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Solid.
Bang. Now we have a pizza party.
Hell fucking
Party.
yeah, dude. I want New York
Gina,
style,
let's
though.
go. Bring in the pizza.
I want New York style, baby.